You. Alright, so I want to give you guys a quick rundown on this excursion trip that I took during my last visit to DR. It was the third time I had been out there, and I wanted to get outside of the main capital area because during my first two visits, I didn't really explore too much other than that one time I went to Wandolio. So I wanted to see what else the country had to offer. I didn't necessarily have an idea on what I wanted to do, but a brother just knew he was in search of adventure. You know what I mean, I just wanted to do something adventurous. So I was talking to Shorty, and she was giving me the rundown on how she knew these people who do these excursion trips. And what these trips are is, these people, they get together and they link up with local people from different parts of the island, and they get groups together and they just, show them around those local areas. And this particular area that we went to go visit was Samana. So I believe we started off in Las Terrenas, and then we went to Limon, and I can't remember exactly because damn, I was on one, but we stopped in Samana briefly, but I don't remember. I couldn't find any footage of it, so I guess it didn't happen. But what else? So Samana is located on the north side of the island, and where I was in Santo Domingo was in like the capital area, and that was roughly, I want to say, 2.5, maybe 3 hours at most apart from one another. And in order for us to get out there, we drove out there. But the people who set up these excursion trips, they handle all of the transportation and everything for you. So what they did was they just have you deposit some money into a Banco Popular account. They throw your name onto a list, and they'll give you like a time and place where to meet up to set up the transportation. And we met up at a gas station, and we left the gas station, I believe, at 5:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we headed off to Samana. And on our way to Samana, we stopped at this local restaurant. I believe it was called Plaza Turistica, and we stopped there as a little rest area. We didn't eat there, but the people in charge of the excursion, they provided refreshments and a little snack or whatever, but it wasn't necessarily anything special. It was basically just like a piece of bread, motherfuckers do some mayonnaise on it, a couple of pieces of salami, and say, yeah, eat this. But we did that. And of course, if you want to buy something at the restaurant Plaza Turistica, you could have purchased some over there, because I believe they were serving breakfast at the time, and I'm assuming they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so that was an option. But one thing about that particular area that we stopped at that stood out to me the most was this big ass bowl that was just sitting in this ditch area. It was located the way this restaurant was placed. It was placed right beside like a crop field, and over there you'll see like a few wild animals. Like I seen a couple of horses just running free, and this bull was just sitting there just looking at us, and I'm like, okay, what in the hell is going on right now? And then after that, of course, I didn't get the footage of the bull. I wish I did, but I didn't. After that, there was these damn peacocks over there just sitting around just chilling as well. So I'm like, okay, this is different. And it was crazy because usually when I'm seeing a peacock, I'm seeing them confined to like a cage, and out here these things are just running free. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, if only you motherfuckers knew. I mean, just be thankful that you're not somewhere else, because if you was in the States, your ass would be in a cage right now, put on display for view and pleasure. So after we left the restaurant, the rest area, we headed over to El Limon. And when we got there, we hopped on some four-wheelers, and we made 3 other stops. We made a stop at Playa Lanza del Norte. Then we did Playa Marron, and then after that we did Playa Bonito. But one thing that I will say on our way to El Limon is that the surrounding areas, the views were just like, words can't describe how beautiful those views was. I just felt like I was in like a fantasy world, and I was sitting in the back seat, and unfortunately I didn't get a lot of footage, but the stuff that I did get, it was just like I felt like I was in like a utopia. That's the best way I could describe it. So once we get over to El Limon, we linked up with these local guys from the area, and they were our guides for the four-wheelers, because they started pulling those out, and I'm like, wait a minute, we about to get on those, and who's about to drive these shits? Because I ain't about to drive them. But I guess that was just a part of that was a part of the adventure that I was looking for. So after the guys set up the four-wheelers, they lined them all up, and then they started to give us a tutorial on how to use them. So they was giving us the rundown on how to accelerate, how to brake, how to throw it in park, neutral, reverse, and all that good stuff. And one thing that I will say is that when you're on them damn things, is that you want to be as careful as you possibly can be, because of course you want to have fun, you want to get it in, you want to do your thing, but you also want to be safe as well, because the last thing you want is to be on one of them damn things. You hit the acceleration, you hit a damn bump, and next thing you know, you hit the bump, you fall on your ass, and it crack your melon, and next thing you know, you're in the hospital. Everybody speaking Spanish, you don't know what the hell they talking about. So be careful. And also, I would also suggest, if you can, get the very last four-wheeler, because you don't want to be driving in front of one of them damn Dominicans that's been drinking, because within the first I want to say 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, two of them motherfuckers had already crashed them damn things, and they wasn't just crashing them into trees or anything. Them motherfuckers was crashing them shits into each other. So that lets you know where their heads was at while they was out there doing their thing. But and if you do crash some shits, just know that you're responsible for them. So tread lightly. So after we rode around on the four wheelers a little bit, and as we was doing that, of course, we was checking out some of the sites. It was I don't know, we was somewhere off the grid, but we made a nice little pit stop over at this spot overlooking like the ocean area. And once we was over there, how niggas get. You pull a camera out, it's just like chicken, everybody comes running. So we had like a little mini photo op over there for a little bit, and then we headed off into our next destination. Alright, so once we hopped back on the four wheelers, we headed over to this this little blue house. That's what I'm gonna call it. This little blue house. We headed over there, and we was greeted by this lady who I believe owns the property. She was there with a couple of her family members, and they was real hospitable. They provided us with like tea, coco con manzana. I believe that was banana mixed with cinnamon and coconuts. And they had tea, like I said before, fruit, and they had two guys there that were selling souvenirs. So one guy, he had like a bunch of necklaces and bracelets and a couple other items as well. And then this other guy, he was selling like what was it? It was organic honey. So he was pushing that organic honey for the Lolo. But this pit stop was more so a time to sit back, relax, and communicate with some of the other people that was on the trip. I didn't do too much communicating because my Spanish is limited. It's real garbage. So I more so was just chilling and checking out the sites. Like there was a couple of roosters. So what I'm saying, I checked them out to see what they had going on, and that was basically it. Once we finished up with that little soiree, we headed off to the first beach, and the first beach that we headed off to was Playa del Norte. Yeah, Playa del Norte. And the beach was real laid back. It wasn't too much going on. Like when we pulled up, there was a couple of families over there camping, but other than that, it was pretty quiet. We didn't stay too long though, so we just pulled up, checked it out a little bit, then kept it moving. Alright, so after we finished over at Playa del Norte, we did a little bit more riding around on the four-wheelers, saw a couple more sights, and in that process it started to rain a little bit. And you know what I'm saying, that's when things got a little shaky. Well, it didn't get shaky for me and a couple other people. It got shaky for them two motherfuckers that crashed on four-wheelers. So you know what I'm saying, I felt like, they was Tiger Woods and Mother Nature was a 9-9, and they got busy on them. Because, I don't know what happened. They just wet the bed. But, after we finished up, helping them out or whatever, we headed over to Playa Marron. And Playa Marron, it was a real cool beach. And if you go at the right time, a stray might just come up to you and show you some love. And I like this beach out of the other two beaches that we visited. I think it's a place where you can go, bring a date, get a picnic basket, throw some towels down, you know what I'm saying, catch a tan and drift off into La La Land. Alright, so after we finished up over at Playa Marron, we headed back to El Limon, and then we dropped off the four-wheelers and hopped back into the van with your man Big Papi David Ortiz, and then we headed over to La Parada Manzana. And La Parada Manzana is nothing more, it's basically just a restaurant, and they got like the traditional Dominican dishes like arroz con frijoles, habichuela, pollo guisado, carnitas, all that good stuff. And the restaurant was good. I liked the food. You know what I'm saying, I enjoyed myself. I had me a nice meal. And they also have a gift shop over there as well. But just know that if you decide to purchase something at the gift shop, that the guy that's, you know what I'm saying, working the register, he's gonna try to upsell you on everything. So if something's 1,000 pesos, I'm telling him I'm not paying no more than 300 pesos for it. And you know what I'm saying, you could negotiate from there and see how low you can get them down to a price that's within your range. But once we finished up over there, we headed to our last beach, which was Playa Bonito. And one thing that separated Playa Bonito from the previous two beaches that we visited was they had a little bit more activity. There was a lot more people over there. It wasn't a lot, but there was still a handful of people walking around, just hanging out and just chilling. And I think that had a lot to do with the fact that there's a resort over there. There's some hotels. They got a couple of restaurants, and also there's some people who actually live there as residents. So that was a nice beach. The way it's set up is they got a sidewalk, they got the sand, and then they got the beach. So if you don't want to sit on the beach, you could you could chill over by the rest area. They got like a little garden over there also, and they also have lawn chairs as well that you don't have to rent. You could just sit on the motherfuckers. Well, I mean, I guess don't quote me on that, but I just remember at Wandola there was like a lot of people standing around just trying to get you to rent lawn chairs. But over at Playa Bonito there was nobody over there, so I'm just assuming that, you know what I mean, you could just sit down over there. But you know what I'm saying, don't take my word for it. Okay, so I'm getting down to the end of the video, and overall the trip out to Samana was a good time. It was a great experience, definitely eye-opening, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who decides to go out to DR to give it a chance. It's more than worth the price of admission. So if you wanna, you know what I'm saying, get the information, I can slide it to you. Just holler at your boy. And if you do decide to take the trip and you don't speak Spanish, I would highly recommend bringing someone with you that can speak Spanish, just as a precaution, because the last thing you want is to be out there, get yourself in a situation, end up getting hurt, and you're unable to effectively communicate with the people, because you're going into areas that are Spanish speaking only. It's not like, Santo Domingo in the capital where you'll come across a handful of people who could actually speak English. Over there, I mean, ain't nobody speaking English. It's all Spanish. So definitely bring someone with you that is trustworthy. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I mean, I would suggest doing it just as a precaution. And that's only in part because when you're on those four-wheelers, you're going to be heading to all types of different areas, and you're going to be going uphill, downhill. You're going to be going through streams and all types of other crazy shit on some. It's a whole bunch of Tarzan shit going on out there, and you know what I'm saying, you just want to be secure when you're out there. But I'm gonna end the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually had a good time doing this one, and I'll see you on the next one. We out of here. Deuces.